There's a place where the living and the dead trade whispers.
Where shadows don't just follow, they watch.
Where one thin barrier holds back what waits on the other side.
You've stepped into the veil between. What you're about to hear drifts between fact, belief, and the unknown. The veil between is for entertainment purposes only.
Our stories, research, and experiences are our own, not medical, legal, or professional advice.
So step carefully, and remember, the choice to believe is always yours.
Welcome back to the Veil Between podcast, family. Hope everyone's having a great day.
Hey, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good start to their, what's spring now?
It's almost spring.
Almost spring. Wow, yeah.
We're at the end of February.
Awesome. Yeah, hope everybody's having a good start to that.
Well, I mean, for San Diego, it's like 9 months out of the year, it's spring.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We're lucky here. Blessed.
Yeah.
We'll be paid for the weather, though, so it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
I mean, technically it is.
Yeah, technically it is.
Well, anyway, okay, so today we have another case study for you guys because everyone really liked the last one that we did. So we're just going to keep on sharing stories of things that we've encountered with our clients, so and their experiences, because I think that like helps people see the different types of things that are out there and what to keep an eye out for, the subtle hints and stuff like that. So let's jump into it. We had a client, this was a few years back, who called us because she was concerned about her daughter. Her daughter at the time was a teenager. She was in high school, and her daughter was having really, really scary nightmares to the point where she was afraid to sleep at night. So she would stay up all night and then would like pass out out of like sheer exhaustion around like 3 a.m. But even from my personal experience, when I flipped my schedule to prevent myself from sleeping at night when I was being attacked by the psychic vampire, when you fall asleep, like that's it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's daytime or nighttime. Like if something's attacking you, it'll attack you. It's waiting for you to fall asleep, to be vulnerable. So something about the dark just makes it so much more scarier, So she was trying to hold out and she wouldn't fall asleep until, she still had to go to school in the morning.
That must have been tough.
It was. So she was like traumatized. She was like terrorized by these nightmares. And there was one night where she went downstairs to the kitchen to get like a glass of water or something in the middle of the night. And she started screaming and woke up the whole house because she said she saw like an entity in the kitchen. There was like a dark shadow of a person in the kitchen, and it started kind of stalking her. Like it was following her around, and she just started screaming. And so when that happened, like the very next day is when our client reached out to us, because she was like, I don't know what's happening. Like, and this has been going on for a few months now. She said she's almost a grown up. Like she's a teenager. She's in high school, and she's so scared to sleep that she would even come into my bed and say, can I sleep with you? She was like, that's not normal. That's not normal that a full grown teenager, 16 years old or something like that.
Still having night terrors. Yeah.
Yeah. And wants to sleep in the parents' bed. Yeah. So she was like, something's wrong. Something's wrong.
I remember.
So we went in and we did a walkthrough, and then we sat down with the client and we said, there's something here. Something was invited here. It was very clear. It wasn't like it was organic, like it was something like that used to live there or something like that. Because actually their house was a new build. It was like new to them. Like when they had been there for years, but when they first purchased
they were the
and
only
moved there,
occupants?
it was a new build.
I remember now, yeah.
So, you never know about the land. Like, you never know, like poltergeist, like if some Native American tribe or something lived there, way prior before the development. But that wasn't the case.
Because there were no issues before
right.
this. They had gone years without issues.
Years, like decades. I think they had been there almost 20 years. Yeah. And so never had an issue before. So we determined through our walkthrough that something was invited in.
Yeah.
And when we asked, it wasn't right away. It was like, I think like a few days later.
Wasn't it her sister that ratted her out?
I don't remember.
I think it was her little sister ratted her out and was like, you need to tell them the truth. Because we knew, well, you knew that something wasn't right.
Yeah.
You sensed something. You sensed that it was an intrusion energy. It wasn't grounded to the area.
Yeah, it didn't belong. It was
Yeah.
something that was brought in.
It was an intrusion signature on the etheric layer, something that was brought in, something that was conjured into the area, which made it very odd because normally you have wandering spirits and stuff like that. But when something is invited to the area, it has a stronger grasp on the area. And that makes it very different. That makes it even more difficult to exercise and get rid of them when they're actually invited into the area. They actually develop influence a lot quicker because of that. I remember, I think it was her little sister ratted her out and was like, she had a little attitude. She crossed her arms. She's like, you need to tell them the truth.
What? Yeah.
They know you're lying. I remember that. Yeah.
Thank heavens for little sisters.
How's my teenage girl voice?
Yeah. So the client called us and was like, you won't believe this.
Yeah.
She was like, my daughter created her own Ouija board. She took a piece of cardboard, she cut down like a box or whatever and wrote in the letters. Like she created her own, like with a Sharpie or whatever, and she created her very own Ouija board, which is called an angel board.
Angel board is the exact nomenclature for all of them, actually. Ouija board.
Yeah, Ouija is just
the brand.
Is the brand.
Particular brand, but an angel board is the actual name of it because it was originally designed, I believe, by John Dee to reach out to angels. He wanted to reach out to angels via Enochian magic. And what had happened was he realized what I'm talking to on the other side
isn't an angel.
And he even wrote in his memoirs, the things that I'm communicating with through this device, I know they're lying to me. Whenever I have communication with these things, I have an awful feeling. Not like I'm chatting with an angel of the Lord. I don't feel at peace. I don't feel at rest like when I'm praying in church. I feel at odds with these things. I feel goosebumps. I don't feel right. His last words with this entry were, I know they're lying to me, and I know they're not who they say they are.
Fascinating.
So and like we stressed many times in previous episodes, you don't know what you're talking to on the other side. And this young lady we found out was actually psychically gifted. Very gifted. And because
untrained,
exactly.
She had that bright light, but was vulnerable because she wasn't trained. She didn't know how to protect herself. So like a moth to a flame, I mean, she's seen as easy prey.
Not only a bright light, but a bright light that has youth and exuberance. So to a being that's very ancient, that's easy prey. Like you said, that's easy prey. On top of that, she's opening herself up.
Mm-hmm.
She's opening her worldview. She's opening access into her own energy and space for these beings to come. So they need permission. Most of the time they need permission. I need you at a low frequency, one or the other or both, ideally both for them. And she just happened to do that because by utilizing these divination tools improperly without the proper training, you leave yourself open. It opens your mind and expands your super consciousness via the tool into the etheric layers, which will then, you have to remember, in the arcane, the door always swings both ways. You have to be keen and trained to make sure that does not happen. An untrained mind does not have control over the filter. There is no filter there. The training is the filter. And you can't decide who you let in and out of your worldview and your reality. So I apologize for that tangent. I was just trying to explain the arcane science behind it.
Oh, no, that's great. That's perfect. I just wanted to add a little bit more of the backstory. There were a few times where we were like, something is, before we knew what it was, there was something, it wasn't quite right. Because if it's like a natural, and I don't want to say natural because it's not natural, but like if it's a standard baddie that's coming in, it picks on every member of the family.
Yeah.
This was not the case. It was only affecting her, the oldest daughter. It was only affecting her. Her nightmares, I remember she said, one of them, she was being choked out and she woke up and she still felt the hand like there. And I think she even had bruises. Yeah. We didn't see them because by the time we came, they had faded. But
didn't she take pictures like red marks on her neck and arms?
no,
Is that the
I don't.
case that we're okay?
No, because it was no.
I might be confusing with another case.
Yeah, no, this one, it was just the neck. She was
Okay.
being choked out. And then in other nightmares that she had, the entity kept saying, like, you're going to die. I'm going to kill you, And so it was causing fear. It was like causing her to be
And
like amped up the fear.
yeah. And likely, like you said, trying to cause fear, trying to bring you to a low negative state. And the reason why is because this psychically sensitive young woman has set up the perfect storm. You've invited me into your worldview via the divination tool you were not trained to use. You are psychically powerful. Like I always say, women are very gifted with psychic ability. Most women have it. As a matter of fact, the dynamics between the two genders is very wildly different. It's very rare for men to have psychic gift, right? We're physically strong, but for women, it's the opposite. It's very rare for women not to have it. So this is why you hear cases of young women that are able to move things out of anger. You hear these cases of
Poltergeist?
well, they call it a poltergeist, but it's actually just uncontrolled kinetic applications of psychokinesis. And women are very gifted. So you hear these stories of this happening. It's usually anecdotal or it's a tall tale, but there's some truth grounded into these stories because women are very gifted. So now you have this young woman, psychically gifted. She opens the floodgates, has no idea what she's doing. She's young, she's naive. Now she's terrified because she's dealing with something that is harming her. And because she gave it access, now it has the ability to harm her. It has the ability to do these foul things, and it doesn't have good intentions. And my suspicions behind this case, if I remember correctly, was that this one was targeting her specifically for that gift so that he could demonically possess her.
Yes, I was actually just going to say that. This one,
The parents were terrified when we told them that.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they listened to us before and they took us seriously before, but they kind of freaked out when we told them. After that, they were like, oh, got it. So much worse than we thought it was.
Yeah.
Because it was targeting her solely. And I suspect that the other females in the house also are gifted naturally, but I think she had the most raw natural ability.
She stood out.
And she invited it in. And I think those nightmares that it was giving her and threatening her and telling her she was going to die and then choking her out, it wanted, like you said, wanted to make her experience fear so much so that it would lower her frequency down, leaving her even more susceptible to that possession. So we got there right before that happened.
Yeah, thankfully. Thankfully, the mother was very wise, realized that this was out of her control, and she hired some professionals to take care of it. And that's what you do. I can't advise it enough. Even if you don't call us, if there's a situation and it's outside of your control, please nip it in the bud before it does. This isn't something you want to leave on the back burner because before you know it, bad things happen.
It would have been so much worse if they had waited until she was possessed.
Yes, because then
and it would have been so much more dangerous.
Yeah, it makes a difference between putting out a small fire on the stove or putting out a house fire. There's a huge difference between the two problems. One small, it's inconvenient, it's kind of scary. The other one is terrifying, can bring your whole world crashing down. So I hope that metaphor makes sense. But yeah, I remember they were terrified. And that was his plan. The demon's always trying to bring you down to their level so they can hop in your body. And then once they hop in your body, they're really hard to get out and they like to do some bad stuff. And sometimes you won't even know they're in there. And this was likely the reason why the demon was trying to remain quiet about its presence except to her, because he didn't want people to know he was there. He just wanted everyone to think she was crazy. That way, when she just suddenly loses her mind.
Or craving attention like a teenager does. Like a teenager does. I'm not calling out teenagers. I'm just saying like.
Rude. But yeah, so he's trying to isolate her. Everyone's going to think she's crazy. He gets inside her body. She loses her mind.
Yeah.
She's actually possessed. And then bad things happen. We've seen plenty of cases where good people, normal people just suddenly lose their minds. And they call it mental illness. A lot of these cases I study sometimes, and I mentioned this in many episodes, they're demonic possession. It becomes clear after a while it's demonic possession. Even if it's not us, get help. If you don't know what you're doing, get help, okay? Because you don't want it to be a big problem. I always tell people this, and I'm just going to piss some people off, and I don't care. Hire professional magicians, exorcists, priests, contact the Catholic Church, ask them if it's really that bad, ask them if they can help out. Occultists that know what they're doing, and demonologists, individuals who know what they're doing, who have done their homework, studied, understand the arcane tenets, the arcane rules, the arcane laws, everything that needs to be applied to get rid of these entities before it becomes a major problem. Do not, still upset some people, do not hire a paranormal investigator. These individuals, all they end up doing in our experience is rallying up the entity, making the problem 10 times worse. So be careful. I would liken it to, if you had an insect infestation, you want to hire the exterminator who knows what they're doing. They know how to kill these things. They know how to get rid of them inside and out. You don't want to hire the bug fanatic that likes to take pictures and play with them and all that, because that's all that's going to happen is they're just going to take pictures, play with them, right?
Stir up the nest,
keep a few for their collection inside a little case, and then, all right, bye, right? And then now you got all these riled up bugs in your home, and the problems.
I feel like we're gonna get so much.
I know
hate.
Paranormal investigators are gonna get mad, but that's the truth. They just make things worse.
Yeah.
They just make things worse. Hire professionals who understand the occult and are wanting to help. We're not on safari here. We eliminate these problems so that you can move on with your life, because that's what you need to do, is live your life. We don't want this to be your life. We want this to be a speed bump. Oh, had to deal with this. Just like you have once in a while, you have to call pest control. Once in a while, you have to, clean out the attic. You have to do this. Oh, ran into this. Continue with your life, because your life shouldn't be focusing on horrible things. Your life should be focusing on beautiful things like building your family, building your home, your career, things like that.
Yeah, there's so many TV shows of just ghost hunters, paranormal investigators running around, and that's highly entertaining.
They are entertaining.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I love watching them.
Yeah.
But
especially when they poke the hornet's nest and then something pops off and they run away screaming. Ah!
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing? That you asked for that. So I just want to say there are so many TV shows of paranormal investigators. And then you have other TV shows with psychics or mediums who are like talking to the spirits, and they're like, this is what's happening. And then if a cleansing needs to happen, they're like, oh, you need to find somebody. This is who you need to find.
Yeah.
You don't actually be like, I have contacts.
Yeah.
And they don't do it themselves. They're like, all right, thanks. If you want this out, you have to contact a witch, or, they come up with these weird names. I don't even know. Like, I mean, maybe they're legit. I don't know. But like, they're like, this is what you need to do. But give them the contacts. You're leaving them. It's scaring the bejesus out of them, being like, this is what's in your house. We're going to go with it now. And now you have to do your own research and find these contacts. Like, if I were to do that, I'd be like, okay, this is something outside of our realm. We can't handle this. I will give you a contact of somebody.
Yeah.
I will do that research for you.
We're going to try to find someone on a higher level who can get rid of this.
That's insane.
Even if we can't handle it, there's always someone out there. There's an exorcist out there. There's someone out there who's good at what they do.
What I want to see, I'm tired of seeing all these shows. All these people have all these shows. There's so many shows. What I want to see the show where the person does the cleansing.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see the show where the person actually receives help, like right then and there. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I know we've said before, like, I feel like when we go through it, it's kind of boring. It's boring to watch. But like, I want to see people actually getting help.
Well, yeah, it's kind of boring for us because they hide from us. They know why we're there. They can read our intention. Like,
yeah, they're like, oh, she's coming.
They're trying to get rid of me. I better stay quiet, try to hide.
Like you said, I'm the bloodhound.
Yeah.
I'm the bloodhound. I'm the one that sniffs them out, and you're the one that smokes them out. Like, I do the sage too, but like your presence alone, they're like, oh God, he's the muscle.
Yeah.
He's the bouncer. He's coming to bounce me out.
Yeah, they like to hide from us, especially you. They like to. They're always in a corner.
Because as soon as I catch them, as soon as I see them, I tell you, I'm like, it's right there. And then both of us go at it.
They try to minimize their presence so much. The clients always say the same thing. It's calm when you're here. I'm like, yeah, I know.
I think they're afraid that we don't believe them because we don't see what they see.
Oh, yeah, and that's what the demon's hoping. Hopefully they won't believe the client, and I can go back to working on them tonight. Yeah, we believe you. We're always going to believe you. We always give the benefit of the doubt. And even if we don't, like if something's not there, we're still going to, if you want us to, we still go through the cleansing. We'll still go through with it. We'll still cleanse it.
Yeah, better safe than sorry.
Better safe
You
than
know what I
sorry.
mean?
We'll still clean the entire other layers of your homes out and make sure that if it does decide to show back up again, maybe it completely ran out of the house and decide, I'm gonna come back later and these guys aren't here. When it shows up, it's gonna find a rude awakening and realize that it can't get in. A massive wall barrier that won't let them in. A fog that's gonna blind them. It's gonna stink them out. They're not gonna like it at all. And very, very inhospitable etheric layers that will not allow them to manifest their will.
It's more than just the smoke. Like,
Yeah.
it's more than just the sage.
It's all the senses.
Well, we also like lock the place down.
Lock the place down.
I'll give you a secret.
Warding stones.
Warding stones. Warding stones are used like a lock on your door. Like you're locking your front door. You put them by your doors and by your windows, and energetically that is locked down because your psyche, even though these entities are ethereal and they can move through walls and stuff like that, they have to work through your world view. So you, in your mind, you see a door and you're like, that's an entry point.
Yeah.
A burglar would go through the front door or the back door or a window. And so those are all in your mind, you recognize those as points of entry.
And in the arcane laws, they're called interfaces. Law of interfaces. So you recognize those as point of entries. The spirit world also recognizes those point of entries because, like Simone said, they utilize your mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we use the warding stones on every window, every door to lock your place down.
And that's because thoughts create the universe. You take part in creating the objective universe, but more importantly, you create the immediate subjective universe. So the immediate universe around you that you're perceiving, your thoughts are creating that, and that's what they try to take advantage of. So this case, if I remember correctly, we needed a lot of warding stones after we got rid of this
many.
one. Yeah, I remember I was programming warding stones left and right. And then I consecrated the area, of course, with the 3 methods. And then was there anything else that we did in particular for this one?
No.
It was a big house.
It was a big house. We put warding stones everywhere.
I ran through a lot of incense on that one too, I remember.
Yeah.
I had to create 6 stations. That was a tough one because we didn't want him to hide anywhere. We needed to smoke him out. And also her room was just such a negative, bad state.
Yeah.
It was such a bad state. I remember you said when you went in that room, it just felt cold.
Yeah, it was really cold.
Yeah. And keep in mind, we're in Southern California. It doesn't usually get cold.
No other room in the house.
Yeah,
was
that was
cold.
her room in the house. It was, well, I'll let you tell the story.
Her room was the coldest. It was the coldest. Every other room was normal. It was warm. It wasn't cold anywhere. It was just that one room. And I do remember after the fact, because we do follow up with our clients and check in with them and see how everything's going after a few months, just to make sure that they're okay. They're still okay. And the client said her husband didn't believe.
Yeah.
He just thought she was acting out. And he started picking up the warding stones. And she was like, God, it's like there's activity. I was like, well, have you been maintaining? Have you been cleansing the stones? Because you have to cleanse them every month. Once a month. And she goes, I can't find them. Like, they're disappearing. And
was this the one with the husband? Because I remember we had one where the kids also like, this is pretty, and took stones.
Oh, I
remember that one. I was like...
That was another one where it was the girlfriends. It was the friends would come over and they'd be like, oh, pretty. And then they would
pretty. Yeah,
take it, and they would take it home with them. It was like, stop.
And then the client called us back.
Stop touching the stone.
Yeah, and the client called us back and was like, they're coming back in. The entities are coming back in. Something's wrong. And you were like, same thing. Check the stones. They're not here. And she talked to her daughter.
Yeah.
This is another case, right? So talked to her daughter, and the daughter was like, oh, I gave them to my friends. They thought they were pretty. I was like,
yeah,
we'll be back out in a day or two. Just give us, because we had to drive all the way out to LA for that one.
That was LA. Yeah.
Kids are funny.
Oh my gosh.
Gotta love them, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So the husband didn't believe, and he picked up the warding stones.
Because I think he was like cleaning, like doing the floors.
Yeah, and maybe he just didn't put it back.
They go on the floor, like behind the doors and stuff, or on the windowsills of it.
Somewhere near the interface is where they have to be in order to apply their energy.
And so he was like, I don't know, mopping the floor or something. And he was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Maybe he just didn't listen, or maybe the wife didn't tell him and she did it like behind his back. And he was just like, what are all these rocks? And he just started picking them up.
You know, all these crystals. What's going on here?
Anyway, yeah. So that was that case. It was. I'm just so happy. I'm glad that we were able to help the girl.
Yeah.
She
Help
was
the girl.
finally able to sleep without disturbances. The nightmares went away. They stopped.
The day after they text us, and she's just finally able to go to sleep. Yeah, it's always good to hear when someone can return back to their lives. It's the most rewarding part of this job, knowing you help someone. They don't have to live in fear. No one should be living in fear.
I feel it deeply every time because it kind of just brings back those memories and those feelings of what I encountered. And I just remember that first night of being able to sleep. It was just like a tremendous weight off my shoulders. Finally being able to feel like I could breathe.
Yeah.
A deep breath that like I wasn't able to do that before. And so they told me the same thing. They were like, oh, she was finally able to sleep like undisturbed, and just that's a great feeling. There's no better feeling in the world than that, finally being able to take your peace back.
Peace is priceless. It's a cliche saying, but it rings true because once it's gone, you miss it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump into some questions. We have some anonymous questions. Question 1. Can multiple people living in the same home bring conflicting energies that attract entities? Absolutely.
Absolutely. This case was a perfect example.
Well, I mean, there was just the one entity, but it was a whole family in there.
One person brought in a conflicting energy.
And, if any of the other people in the house did anything, also messed with the Ouija board, they could have brought in more. I mean, you also can go somewhere either to party or to a friend's house, or, I mean, maybe even to work or something, and something can follow you. Or even if you, for the fun of it, try to go to like a ghost tour. You know what I mean? If you go somewhere haunted to like, for the fun of it, they have tours. I go on those tours.
Yeah, but you know how to cleanse yourself properly. Most people don't.
Well, I think it was like one of the very first episodes we did. Because it was for the Halloween, I said that I go on those ghost tours, like like a paranormal investigator. But I want to clarify, I will never do that to somebody's house. I'll never do investigations like a paranormal investigator on a person's house where they're living there. I only go to like museums. Like, what's the one here? The Whaley House?
The Whaley House, yeah.
Whaley House, that's a museum. That nobody lives there.
Yeah.
I'll go to cemeteries, places like that. I'll never do an investigation in an active place where somebody actually lives there.
Yeah,
so I just want to clarify that. Here we are hating on paranormal investigators, and I'm like, I do some paranormal investigating. No, it's different. Yeah, so I cleanse myself. But yeah, so I mean, if you were to go to a place like that, you could easily bring something back with you if you're not careful. So yeah, things have a way of attaching and following. If they see your light and you appear to be easy prey, if you're psychically gifted but you're not trained, they see that as being vulnerable, as being easy prey, and something can follow you home. I think the chances are higher with the more people that you have in your household.
What you said was really good. I would go as far as to add this caveat. I mean, you need to be careful, but some things are out of your control. Like you don't even know what your neighbors are doing. They could will bad things into the neighborhood and then create wandering entities there in that regard that now have eyes on the neighborhood. It's very difficult. The only thing you can do is try to control your space as much as possible. Keep an eye on your children to make sure they're not dabbling in the occult prematurely. And if they do decide to go that route, I would say introduce them to the Bible first. The Bible is the premier book when it comes to training magicians. That may seem like, what? It is the premier book. It teaches you exactly how to use your gifts that the Lord has given you. Remember, you're made in the image of the Lord. So that should be your only source. You don't need to go anywhere else. If you're searching for abilities to exercise your power, to augment your life, to augment yourself spiritually, you don't really need anything else. Anything else like reaching out to spirits for help and stuff like that, that's called sorcery. You're lowering yourself. Don't do that. You're made in the image of the most powerful being in the universe. You don't have to lower yourself to be subjugated by lesser entities and bring them into your worldview. If your kids understand that, fill them with a sense of pride and let them know you don't need to work with these entities and spirits. You're above them, because we have a society that conditions us into thinking that we're less than. But every time you see a portrayal in the movies, these entities are stronger than us. They're able to, just have their way with us and all of this. But it's exact opposite. That's what the opposition wants you to think. There is a reason why you can conjure these beings into reality. Like I said, get the Solomonic text, get a protective circle, summon them before you will, and bind them into service. If you wanted to, I wouldn't suggest you do that. I would never suggest anyone deal with demons at all, because the first rule of dealing with demons is
Don't deal with demons.
don't deal with demons. But yeah, there's a reason why you can do that. It's because you are made in the image of the Lord. The world, the universe answers to you. So always remember that. And then I think by allowing them to understand that then if they wish to start their spiritual journey, just keep an eye on them. You don't want another case like we had there where the young girl was going off, the young lady, she's a teenager, was going off on her own and dabbling into things foolishly and creating problems. So just keep an eye on whoever you let into your home. I think also the movie we saw and talked about weapons. They invited that witch into their home, not realizing what she was doing until it was too late. So be careful who you let into your personal space. This isn't to say to be cruel to people, be closed off. Just be cautious who you let into your personal space, because you can't spend 24/7 with these people. You don't know what practices they do behind closed doors. And if they are practicing dark magic or any type of dark spiritual practices, you want to distance yourself from them. So that's my advice on that. It's impossible to tell what anyone does in their private time, but try to minimize it by just being cautious and controlling your space. I hope that's good advice. I know it's a lot. I know it's probably a lot that I just unloaded, but there is a lot to psychic self-defense. There's a lot to it, sadly. It's not as simple as it is simple in the rudimentary ideologies, but it becomes very difficult depending upon the nomenclature of entity and the nomenclature of psychic attack that you're dealing with.
Yeah, well said. Okay, next question. When should you seek professional help versus doing your own protection work?
That's a very good question. In this case, we were talking about today's episode. She sought help right away. Once you feel overwhelmed,
Well, it wasn't right away. It had been a few months.
well, we have been a few months. Well, when the mother had realized it was out of her control,
Right.
that's what I meant to say. I apologize. She sought help immediately. That's the best thing you could do is once you realize it's out of your control, it's time to seek help. Okay. I would say if you don't know what you're doing, get help immediately, as fast as possible. Peace is priceless, and these things can cause a lot of turmoil and problems down the line that'll be devastating, not only to your physical and mental well-being, but also to your wallet. In the next episode of Occult Pop, we're going to talk about a movie where a lady's finances were pretty much depleted dealing with a negative entity and trying to help her children deal with them. So as soon as possible, nip it in the bud. And as soon as you start seeing the signs, start getting to work on it. And remember, hire a professional magician, exorcist, priest, pastor, someone who knows what they're doing. Interview these individuals. There's a lot of people out there who talk a real good game. And then as you start to see them in action, you start to realize they don't know what they're doing. And we have another case study about a couple that was devastated by really bad advice that was given to them by a practitioner who wasn't actually a practitioner. So if they don't crack open the books, if they don't study, if they don't exercise their talents, be careful bringing them into your worldview.
You have to vet whoever you're considering hiring. Ask for references, ask for testimonials, ask for contact information of past clients where they successfully cleansed a space. You need a plumber, you go to Yelp, you're not going to hire somebody with 1.5 stars, or where all the testimonials and reviews say oh, they weren't professional.
Yeah.
They didn't actually do anything. They left the work half done and then left and never came back, and I couldn't contact them. Those are all red flags. You want to talk. And here's the thing. We don't have reviews for cleansings. I have a ton of reviews for tarot readings. But the thing is, when it comes to something as serious as this, again, people are afraid of oh, I don't want my family or my friends or my coworkers to know that this happened. I don't feel comfortable leaving a review with my name on it. It's really hard to get reviews for the type of work that we do. People also just want to forget it ever happened and move on. They're I don't want to do a review. I don't want to rehash it. I don't want to nothing like that. But I would still privately reach out to a client and be like, hey, can we set up like a 3-way call or something? So it's private. They don't have your phone number or anything like that. And you can tell them anonymously about your experience and how we were able to help you. There's ways to work around that. You have to vet who you're working with, who you invite into your house. Don't just spend all this money, because it's not cheap to hire somebody professional to come in. Don't just drop all this money and then they actually don't do anything, or God forbid they make it worse. And
They
then
make
you're
it
like,
worse.
and then you're out of money. A lot of the people that we work with are under financial strain. A common theme is that, this was supposed to be their forever home, their dream home. They just bought it. All their money, all their savings went into buying it. They don't have the money to just up and move. A lot of people are like, well, why don't you just move? Just move.
Yeah.
One, we did have a client who moved, and because she was a renter, she moved and it just followed her. So moving doesn't always, it's not a guarantee that it'll solve your situation. And also, a lot of the clients can't afford to leave. They bought this house. This was supposed to be like a fresh start for them, and they have nowhere to go now. Like, they can't even afford to stay in a hotel. But like, if they're so scared, they'll go for a few nights to a hotel just to get
And a
away,
night's sleep. Yeah.
just to get like one night's sleep, Or a lot of people, grab the whole family and they all sleep together in like the living room or in the master bedroom.
Yeah.
So what we do, you can start, like, again, we've said this before, there's layers to it. There's levels.
Levels. Yeah.
We want to give you guys the tools to try to help yourself first before it gets any worse. So you guys can start with our free download, the Beginner's Psychic Shield Ritual. That's a free download. And if you want to purchase the other ones,
They're very affordable. Yeah.
they're not expensive at all. And they're short, so you don't have to read a novel to get to the information. Like, we literally boiled it down, took out all the fluff, left just the absolute necessary information that you need to just get to the ritual, just get to the cleansing, get it done. And we explain how it works and why it works.
A lot of these modern grimoires have to fulfill a quota for publishers. They want books 200 pages. So there's a lot of filler in there. So a lot of the good information gets lost within the filler. Our no fluff handbooks, we cut out the filler because we're not here to sell you pages. We're here to sell you power. And that's really where it comes from, because this is not something that's out of reach. It's not something that's unattainable. With practice, repetition, and studying, you can become a magician and a practitioner as well. You don't have to make it you don't have to make it your life, but if you can just learn enough just to defend yourself with the basics, sometimes that's just enough to give you peace, and peace is priceless.
Yeah, I would kind of say these are like recipes, not even a complete recipe book with multiple recipes. We're just giving you the one recipe.
The one
You need
recipe.
this is the one recipe. Literally, they're like 3 pages.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not messing around.
We're not messing around, and we're not trying to make profit either. Most of the money gets recycled into our business so that we can help individuals that Simone just talked about earlier, people who are down and out and who, may not have the finances to move, but they also don't have the finances to pay for a cleansing because it requires a lot of reagents, a lot of arcane reagents, and the costs start to add up after a while after helping a lot of people.
I would say step 1, as soon as you have like an inkling that something's off, get one of our, or, whichever one you feel like best fits the situation, because there's different ones. Get one of our no fluff handbooks and try to cleanse it yourself first. As far as I'm aware, I don't think there's anything else like this out there available. That's why we've created it, because we want to help as many people as possible, because it's, we can't travel very far. We work in the Southern California area. So we're trying to help as many people as possible. And so start with that. And then if it's not enough, or if you weren't sure that it worked, you weren't sure that you did it right, then you could either set up a call with us. If you're out of state or something, you could set up a call with us and we can help you do something remotely. We have done that before and it has worked, and we've seen success over, like, literally over the phone, like talking our client through the steps, and it worked.
You might not have the arcane muscles to do the heavy lifting required for, depending upon the infestation you're dealing with. Preparatory magic training is very important when you're doing this. Sometimes you could just step in and deal with a little nasty with very little training. The tougher ones require greater connections, so to speak, and greater willpower.
To answer the question, like the most simplest answer would be as soon as you feel like there's something going on, you should seek help of some kind. Either you do it yourself, like we said, you get the handbook and you do it yourself. Don't let it get worse
Yes,
because it'll only get worse.
it'll only get worse.
You know what I mean? Like it starts off subtle and then it amps up.
Yeah. Before you know it, you're in a world of hurt. And it's really sucks. You're going to lose focus on everything and your life is in ruins. And we don't want it to get to that point. Like I said, we want this to just be a small hiccup or a speed bump and you move on with your life.
Yeah. Don't ignore it.
Don't ignore it. Very good questions. Who asked those?
They were anonymous.
Anonymous again. Well, whoever you are, very good questions.
Awesome. So on to our announcements. We just, again, another friendly reminder. New episodes of The Veil Between comes out every second and fourth Wednesday. And Occult Pop comes out every first and third Wednesday. So alternating weeks. Join our Discord. It's free. Join the conversation. Find other people to talk to that may have experienced similar things as you, or, just have fallen down the same rabbit hole. Taking what is it? The red pill?
The red pill.
Taking the red pill. Yeah. And we also have a book club on Fable, also free. And our current book that we're reading is Occult America by Mitch Horowitz. If you have questions that you would like us to answer on this show, you can email us at theveilbetweenpodcast@gmail.com. Or you can also, there's a thread on our Discord, so you can ask questions there. You can also suggest a topic if there's something that you want us to go like really deep in. Go ahead and suggest a topic.
More questions than Mary. We're trying to grow this community, so don't be shy. You will not be judged here.
And, if you guys are really enjoying this show, it would mean so much to us if you could leave a rating and review wherever you're listening. If you're on YouTube, if you could like, share, and subscribe, it'll help us grow and reach more people and ultimately help more people, which is really what we're here for. We really want to help as many people as possible. So that would mean so much. That would be the most help you could give us. If you do want to support us financially in any way, we do have our coloring book on Amazon, and we have a few journals as well. We have the Dream Journal and a Tarot Journal.
Great tools for beginning practitioners or even adept practitioners who just looking for something to codify their research.
I'm at Arcana District on Instagram and TikTok.
And I'm at Guy Quintero on Instagram and TikTok.
Reach out. We would love to chat and help in any way we can. Hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, fam.